Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Amy and today I wanted to talk you through the goals, New Year's resolutions and the word of the year that I have set myself for 2023. So before I get too far into 2023, I need to talk about 2022 first. Now this isn't anything special. Everyone should do some sort of reflection on the year that has been before they go ahead and set extra goals for themselves for the year ahead. But for me, 2022 was a massive year. It went from being terrible to super high and elated, back to being pretty hard and tough and basically terrible again. So 2022 has very mixed emotions for me, and I just wanted to talk you through very briefly what happened so you have a general idea as to why I have set the goals and the word of the year that I have. It just gives you a bit of background. So 2021, I fell pregnant with my first ever baby. Absolutely dreadful health issues left, right and centre. I had hyperemesis, so I was very sick, lost a lot of weight, and although the hyperemesis left before Christmas, it was just the week before Christmas in 2021, there were a lot of other things that carried on through into the beginning part of 2022, such as the pain that I was in. I was diagnosed with PGP and SPD, which basically just meant that from about my whole entire pelvic area, I was just in a lot of pain and I couldn't really walk properly because of how bad it was. That carried on. I then got shingles on top of all of that, plus I had a few other pregnancy complications, which just meant that I was very concerned about my baby and about the whole birthing process. I ended up having to have a cesarean because everything went pretty wrong. And then the cesarean itself went. The cesarean surgery was brilliant, but the resting period after wasn't so great. I ended up having 3 infections, one straight after the other. So the healing process went pretty badly, and so that part was bad. Obviously out of it I got my baby boy. I now have a son, and that is again that was the highlight of 2022. The best gift I could have ever received was him, and he's been such a delight. Although 7 weeks later he started to get really poorly. We had noticed ever since he was born that he wasn't really growing, he wasn't putting on any height. In fact, he was losing weight, not gaining it, and he just kept throwing up. And obviously all babies throw up to a certain degree, but it seemed very excessive. Doctors kept misdiagnosing him, took him to A&E, they got it wrong. Eventually he started throwing up blood. Knew there was something wrong at that point. Turned out, yeah, he needed life-saving surgery. So that was terrible. Like, there was so much anxiety and fear, and I felt so hopeless in that time because there was nothing I could do to make him feel better. Following that, there was the breakdown of my marriage. I'll be honest about it on this channel. The keywords that I set myself when I set up this YouTube channel was, and one of them was authenticity and honesty. So I want to be honest about it, but randomly one day, I wasn't expecting it. I had an argument with my partner, and he ended up just walking out and leaving us, and it was very unexpected. I had no idea that it was being planned. I had no idea that it would ever happen. I was being told one thing. I was being told that he was the happiest he'd ever been, that, you know, love and all that lot, and then suddenly he just left. So, and pretty much the year after that happened has been a whole whirlwind of mixed emotions. Obviously there was sadness at the start. I think most of it was just confusion about the whole thing. And it left me feeling very, very weird, to put it, quickly. So yeah, 2022 was very, very, weird. A lot happened that I wasn't expecting, and whilst obviously the birth of my son is the best gift I could have ever asked for, it's the only thing I've ever really wanted in life was to be a mum. 2022 certainly probably won't be one of the years I would ever wish to go back to, because it just evoked so much sadness and fear and worry and anxiety, whether it be about the breakdown of my marriage, other things that I was going through, other health things that I was going through. I was diagnosed with something 3 days before Christmas in 2022, which I'm half and half about. I'm half relieved I've got a diagnosis, like I've got a name to something that I have been experiencing for a very large period of my life. So now I know where to work from. But at the same time, it's a lifelong diagnosis. It's not something I'll ever get rid of. So obviously that part's a bit bad. And obviously my son being so poorly, that 2022 should have been probably the happiest year of my life, and yet probably turned out to be one of the worst. And I'm not trying to be dramatic, but if anyone else, any parents out there who's been told that their kids, are dying, and you'll understand what I mean. It is a very scary process to go through, and to see your 7-week-old have to go under general anaesthetic is just, it's not fun, let me tell you. So yeah, 2022, not a good year. And so I wanted 2023 to be something where I could knock it out of the park. I'm a very soft, gentle person normally, and a lot of my previous words of the year have been soft and gentle, I guess. And I wanted 2023 to be a word that I probably wouldn't have normally gone for. I wanted something that was strong, something that was bold, something that had a lot of energy to it, that I could really grab hold of. So the word of the year that I chose for 2023 was power. As I said, not really a word I probably would have gone for before, but here we are. Anyway, so I've brought out my planner because I have written everything that I wanted to chat to you guys about today in there, and I made myself an insert for New Year's resolutions. So at the top it says word of the year, which is power, and how does this serve my well-being? Now, in positive psychology, it is the whole scientific research behind it is that we're trying to understand what is happiness and what makes people happy, and then using that to be able to basically serve the greater good, whether that be making your life even better or serving the community around it. So the reason why I added this line in, how does this serve my well-being, is because I want to make sure the word power is something that's going to affect me positively for many years to come. I don't want it just to be a short-lived, short-term happiness boost of a couple of weeks or a couple of months. I want something that's going to benefit me for 5, 10, 20 years down the line, and I want to really make a good change in my life, because quite frankly my life could really do with a really good change. So the reason that I chose power and the way that it would serve my well-being is because it allows me to take back the power and reclaim it from people who have either taken it from me or I willingly gave it away when I shouldn't have. And I think that is a massive thing, that I needed to be able to take responsibility and take control back over my own life, because a lot of things I've realised about the last few years, and about other people, that I never really wanted to admit, and yet here we are, and I have finally realised, and I want to try and make up for the time that I've lost not being myself. So the next section, I have a few just general yearly goals that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the word power. It's just something that I would like to achieve. So firstly, I've put down that I want to bring back my family business, because last year, with everything that was going on, I honestly don't think I did my family business justice. One line that my mother always taught me was, no matter what you do, what result you get, as long as you can say you tried your best, that's all we could ever ask for. And honestly, with my family business last year, I don't think I did try my best. Admittedly, yeah, a lot of things happened in my life last year, and a lot of things went wrong. My head was not in it, it wasn't focused, I felt lost and confused. But I still don't like the fact that I didn't give my family business everything that I could have possibly chucked at it. And so this year I'm going to make a change. I'm going to put in the time and the effort into that business, because the business deserves it and I deserve having an income from it. So yeah, I want to bring that back, make a good, fresh, clean start, wipe off the slate, start again, do it properly. I also want to make a stable income for myself. After the breakdown of my marriage, of course, my son and I were kind of left with nothing. So I've had to kind of rebuild everything from scratch. And at the moment, I kind of have a sort of equal level playing field. I have, I understand where money's going in and out, but obviously to make sure that we have a good, comfortable life, I need to make sure those finances are even more stable than they are. Sort out debts and increase my income so that my son has everything that he needs. So yes, that is also one of my goals. I'm not going to share, super explicit amounts here. It's not the time and place. But just so you know, I want to get a more stable income. If you don't know, I'm also at the Open University, and therefore I want to make sure that I pass with a really, really good score. If my assessments carry on going the way they are with their marks, I am on track for a first in this module that I'm currently in. However, I also understand that life throws curveballs, and therefore if something happens and I don't get the first, I'm definitely aiming for an upper second. Nothing lower than that. I'm not going to set the bar too low because I want a challenge. I want to be able to do my best. So therefore, I must pass my module with an upper second or a first if I can. I also want to potty train and, teach my son new things. Obviously, he's very close to one now. I've got to teach him things like talking and walking and all of that good stuff. And that's a massive accomplishment that I think both of us would make in 2023, because it's going to be a joint effort, obviously. So that'll be my yearly goals of things that I would just like to achieve. Underneath that section, I then have a list of mini goals, basically just things, reminders that I just want to keep telling myself throughout the year, just so I don't forget. So I have different topics on one side, and then areas within those topics that I want to accomplish. So my first topic is start, and the first thing I wanted to start was empowering myself. Growing up, even probably until a couple of days ago, I have realised that I've needed a lot of external validation. A lot of my happiness has been based on external success or people's external opinions about me, or their thoughts or their feelings. So for example, I would only feel clever enough if I got 100% in a test at school. I wouldn't believe in myself otherwise before that. I wouldn't big myself up or, feel confident in my abilities before that unless someone told me I was worth it. I wouldn't be proud of myself until someone told me first that they were proud of me. I wouldn't feel like I would be lovable unless someone had loved me. And I've realised that's not really a good, healthy way to approach life at all. The first biggest cheerleader you should ever have in your life is you. And I came to that conclusion literally on the 31st December 2022. And I've realised that the only person who can genuinely make me happy is myself. Now, of course, my son makes me smile every single day, but I'm in control of my own life now, and I've got to do things that make me a better person and make me smile. So this year I need to empower myself and make sure that I'm giving myself the love and the pride and just the care that I would give to any other person. I also want to start getting up earlier, and by earlier I mean I need to be up by 7:30 a.m. every single day. Not at 7:30, but be up by 7:30. The reason for this is because my son is an early bird. I'm a night owl. It's getting very confusing, our schedules, and quite frankly I'm suffering. Not in a bad way. He's a great sleeper at night time. He does not wake me up. I'm very lucky in that sense. But I mean, I am not used to getting up early, guys, at all. And every morning I always feel like I'm doing him a disservice because I'm kind of like changing him half asleep. So I really want to make it a mission this year to be waking up slightly earlier, and if I can, be awake before he's awake, so that I have time to get myself ready and have breakfast. So when he does wake up, I'm already awake and alert, and I'm providing better for him than me currently being half asleep when I'm changing him and just wishing we could just cuddle up back into bed again and just go back to sleep for an hour. So yeah, I want to start getting up earlier. The next section was stop. I want to stop doubting myself and everything that I do. I want to stop doubting how I think, stop doubting how I feel. If I feel something, that's how I feel, and I shouldn't have to apologise for that. I shouldn't have to beat around the bush. I shouldn't have to say something when I feel something different. So this year I want to stop doubting myself. If I feel like I need to do something, then I should do it. If I feel like I'd be good at something, then I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to doubt my ability. I'm just going to get on and try my best. I also want to stop letting people have control over me. As I said before, a lot of people have taken away a lot of power from me. Especially, there have been a couple of people in my life who have really recently shown their true colours, and I have realised just how much hold they had over my life. This year, no more. This year I want to take back that control and make something of myself. And then I can say at the end of it that I did it for me, by me, rather than someone else did it for me, I guess. Next section was do more. I want to do more going out. I used to love going out as a kid. I would go out all the time and explore and climb trees. I was such a tomboy growing up. Now, COVID hasn't really helped with this, but recently I haven't been going out. Part of that is because of health and germs. Other part of it is because I've been too afraid. I have not felt at my best. I've not really wanted to. I've not felt comfortable going outside, and that needs to change. Because quite frankly, I love nature, and I'm always at my happiest when I'm out and about doing stuff, especially if I'm taking my son out with me. So it's a no-brainer, really. I need to do more going out. I also need to do more practicing my way of life, my spirituality. I'm not religious, but I do believe in nature. I do believe in magic, and I do believe in the law of attractions, manifestation, and all of that kind of stuff. At some point on this channel I will go into depth as to what my way of life and my path actually is, but I haven't really got time in this video to go too far in depth. But yeah, I haven't been practicing as much as I should be and as much as I want to be, so this year I'm going to make it a real effort of mine to do so. Do less. I need to do less procrastination. Oh my goodness. Last year I really noticed it. Again, probably not 100% my fault because a lot of things happened, but because of the things like the lack of confidence in myself, the low self-esteem, the self-doubt, I then thought to myself, well, if I can't do it and I don't believe I can, what's the point in even starting? And that is totally 100% the wrong mindset to have. I knew at the time it was the wrong mindset to have. Yet I kind of got myself into this spiral and I didn't really know how to get out of it. So this year I'm going to stop procrastinating, because so what if it's not perfect? As long as you start, that's something, and you're already halfway there if you've begun. So this year, no more procrastination. Just get something done, something written on paper, or something uploaded on this channel, or something, just anything to get me out of it. I also want to do less fearing. I don't like fearing what ifs. I don't want to be one of those people who doesn't do anything because they're too afraid to. So this year I want to do less of that. The next section was improve, and I want to improve my work-life balance. And that's not because every day I'm not balancing my stuff necessarily. It's because I have this habit of swinging. It's not that every day that there's always other things I could be doing. It's just that it's either all life or it's all work. And that's not really either also a good thing to have. Life gets in the way. There are certain times when you do need to be focusing on more things. When my son was ill, I really had to focus more on the life side than the work. And when things like Christmas and other, holidays and stuff happened, then believe me, the last couple of weeks, the first few weeks of December, I was busy. I was doing a lot of work to make sure that everything would be okay. And so, there would be more focus at work times then. But on the whole, I don't want to be swinging so much between being very work focused or very life focused. There does need to be a balance. I also want to improve my health and fitness. As I said before, I was diagnosed with something last year, just before Christmas. That makes a whole lot of sense now. But obviously one of the things I need to do is just make sure that I'm always, tickety-boo, making sure that my health is always a-okay and nothing goes wrong. So that's going to be a pretty big focus for this year for me. My last section is learn. So to go alongside that health and fitness goal, I wanted to learn how to take care of my body, and this goes a little further and a bit more in depth than just getting fitter. I've never really been blessed with the knowledge of my body type. And by that I mean there are other people out there who know their hair type, they know their skin type, they know exactly what routine you're supposed to do for skincare every single day, and it's like they were born with this knowledge. I was not one of those people, and I don't know why. Because everyone else in my family have it. And yet people come up to me and say, "Oh, what's your skin type?" And I'm like, human flesh. I don't know. The only thing I'm pretty certain I don't have is dry skin, because I've never really been flaky. But again, I could be wrong. I don't even know what dry skin really means, apart from it being skin and dry. I don't know if it means anything else in particular or special, but I've no idea what skin type I've got or hair type I've got. I'm ginger. That's all I know. So this year, again, I want to make it, a real good effort of mine to actually learn what my body is about and why it works the way that it does. And lastly, I want to learn Makaton fluently. I already know some Makaton, but I'm not fluent in it yet. So therefore I really wanted to make sure that this year I really crack on with those studies. The reason because when my son was born, he failed his hearing tests. Luckily, he has passed them since, but it's always in the back of my mind that what happens if something happens, that might be the first thing that goes. My hearing isn't great. Other people, hearing in my family isn't great. I've got one person in my family who's got degenerate hearing. That is a word. So yes, she is losing her hearing as well. So being able to sign is something I feel like is just, it's a no-brainer. It's something I feel like it would be really handy in the future. So yeah, I feel like that is something I really need to learn, and probably need to learn pretty swiftly. So yes, I want to learn Makaton fluently. That is it for today. I think it's already a pretty long video, so if you have made it this far, thank you. But I just wanted to get it out there, get everything documented and up on YouTube, because then I get to share with you guys and I get to keep myself accountable. So I think it's a win-win all round. Have you set yourself any goals yet? If so, let me know down in the comments below if you feel comfortable to. And if you did like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. And that is it from me today. So until next time, bye guys.